We're back to the somewhat dark world of Mandragora today. Couple things I did right off the top is you'll notice I have a new helmet and armor and legs and cloak. I sat there with the craftsman for a little bit and reworked our gear because, to put it bluntly, we kind of needed it. We didn't have to, but I think it will help us a lot to have made these changes. We now have a bit of stamina regen and stamina cost reduction with the Mantle of Resilience, a little bit of bolstering in terms of armor and defensive stats with the bronze legs. The Scarlet Militia gear was just to have one higher armor on our head, basically, because I didn't really need the stats I was getting from the chain hood anymore. And the Briar Robe, of course, empowers all of our casting and gives us a bit of a defense push over what we had before. And both of these have been slotted in with the Strength and Vigor gems to make sure that our strength is not useless and we're able to wear all of this. I do think our overall equip load actually ended up similar to what we had before. Howdy, Connie. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, the extra weight of the bronze legs is balanced out by everything else being somewhat lighter than what we were wearing before. So far, so good. Glad to hear you're doing well. Obviously, our amnesia mace didn't change. I did make a second signet of the wolf, and unfortunately you can't have duplicates of rings, so that didn't work. I bought us some more small mana potions and actually put all of the rest of the items on the bar to actually use. No changes to the talent tree because supposedly you can respec, but I did not see a way to do so yet. It's probably later on. I brought us back here to the catacombs so we can finish the main quest section we were on, because we can also potentially find the bones of the talking skull somewhere in here, potentially. I feel like it's probably up here somewhere, but there might be one or two of them in the lower section of the circle, too. Rather than chasing after the vampires, which we can clean up later. I am somewhat interested in the talking skull after I looked at it because I realized we get a skill book from that. And I would be interested to find out if that's a skill book we actually want. His Dark Echo might be a chaos spell. There we go, there's my beam. I'm gonna die at least one foolish death here while I get my feel for the controls back. Just not yet. Ooh, Deadly Nightshade Seeds. Those will probably be useful. And eat the food as well. Which is why I put it all on the bar. And that's how you eat things, right? You just kind of splash them in your face and hope for the best. I'm going to be running back and forth through the spider area, so be advised if you don't like spiders. They're not going to be on screen for long if I can help it, but they are a concept. Oh, piece of notable news for the game. The developers have heard people's complaints about the way the EULA was worded and the fact that it had a lot of data gathering and such going on it, and they removed it all. They actually played ball with the people complaining on that. Personally, I don't think it was as big a deal as people were making it, but it's good to see developers listening to their community, so mild positive, I suppose, is the end result on that one. Yeah, we got a crossbowman there. We did clear the Blood Guardian, I think it was called, up there when we were here before. The map implies that there's an area behind this guy. Remember, Skeletons get back up. I will say, I don't feel as much stronger as I thought I would after changing the armor.
Strange carvings.
Okay, we found the guy's missing arms. Prince of Persia are way down here for some free money. Feel like there would have been more over here, but I guess not. Yeah, nothing for it but to carry on then. We can't go to the left right now, because we saw that there was a gate there. And I don't think there's actually any other reason for us to go back up this way at the second. I think in order for us to find the other missing bone, it'll be over on the lower right, probably. Just based on the way this place is laid out. And the fact that they love making me have to run through these swinging blades. I'm glad I just committed to that one. I was really concerned that that wasn't going to work out for me. Oh, there's my chaos tentacle thing happening. There we go. As one would expect, skeletons do not like blunt damage. We'll go ahead and use one of the rechargeable potions. There we go. Have our mana recharge. You know, I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep thinking, oh yeah, I need to unlock the elevator by pulling the lever, and then I send the elevator away from myself every time. You would think one of these times I would learn. At least it didn't lose the item. I swear if this is better than the helmet I just made, I will be... Okay, good. It's actually not that great. It's very good if you're aiming to be really lightweight, and the health and mana isn't bad. But it's not really going to be good for me at the moment, because that armor down is rough. And I've definitely opted for more armor than I expected to be aiming for. Just for sake of staying alive, to put it bluntly. Oh, I found the other guardian. That's not what I wanted to find right now. I would have much rather recharged before finding this guy. But I should have assumed that he was going to be over here. Just thinking this through completely. I misread the move on that one. I, for some reason, thought he was going for the shockwave. Get rid of this guy. There we go, he's on fire. Thankfully, these guys are chumps at this point, in relative to us, so this is a non-issue. Nope, I can't get an angle at him. Ha! First try. There's our plague seal. So now we can gain access to the witch, theoretically. Assuming there isn't another catch to this whole little adventure we've got here. And we learned Toxic Shiv, which I probably can't use.
I think I'll take this.
Scribed armor and a bunch of goodies. Oh, and when I said I spent time with the craftspeople, by the way, I did actually level all of them. At least once. Using various components we had still laying about. That's why I have no money. I made a bunch of random nonsense. Because I figured it was better to spend the time doing that when none of y'all had to see it. Okay, inscribed stuff is cloth, so that might actually be useful to us in the future. And yeah, this is an assassination skill. It does only require daggers, but I think you have to have assassination skills in order to be able to use daggers? Yeah, you need Assassination Mastery in order to use daggers, so that is locked just like everything else, even though it reads like it might not be. But one stack of poison and it bounces, and you can get your combo points back when you pick it up. So that's actually pretty cool. And I do appreciate that these actually have a unique resource in that they use combo points instead of relying on mana. Because like all of your caster stuff, of course, requires mana. Wild requires mana, Astral requires mana. All of the combat skills are either adrenaline or stamina, and then your assassination are all combo points. This way you don't have that awkward issue of you have to have some mana splashed in even as a physical character, or you just can't use your abilities like at all. Why is there a witch stone down here? It seems like a weird place for one of these to be. Oh, there's the ruined ribs.
Runes carved into it, similar to those on the talking skull.
Why is there one of those portals up here? Something must, like, exit here at some point, and then. Or we gain, like, a vertical leap that would let us go through that portal. One or the other. Either way, we can't do anything with that right now. I really expected to fall into the pit there, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I just went flying across the gaps without thinking about it. I also forgot that when you activate them, you have to press the button a second time to rest. We will have to fight our way back out of here, but I do think we need that recharge. And you know, another level in the books. I think we were aiming for Netherwalk, which is going to delay us starting with our second class a little bit, because we need 2 more levels to get Netherwalk, but Netherwalk will be very helpful considering it dodges damage for us. Like, I do really feel like the abilities I'm intending to use combine in a way that's going to actually be a little bit stupid powerful. Considering we're more or less going to have 2 different means of avoiding lethal damage. That's, of course, if they stack. They may just say, no, you can't have both of those effects. No, you don't break through there. I'm gonna go back down the elevator for a second. Yeah, because we can move while we're on the elevator. And there's that side room partway. There's a space above us here, according to the map. So more than likely, that's the problem. Did we even deal with you? No, there's another elevator here. Hehe. Just give him a little magic nudge so he explodes. Ichor we have not gotten before. I have no idea if it'll be useful for anything, but it exists. Yeah, we can't make that jump even off of the ladder. Ah, but we can make it from here. There's... Oh wait, no, there's another ladder. Okay. I was gonna say, but there's just a goodie here. That we can't make it to this ladder. The lever right there is definitely how you lower this ladder. Huh. That may very well be our last missing skeleton piece. So it's got some very weird effects gathering around it, so that's concerning. That resumes begging the question, well, how do we get there? Because one would almost think that the wall there is breakable, but I'm pretty sure our magic would break that. So I think we're out of luck on that idea at the second. I think I saw my answer. I see. Yep, this drops us right onto the lever. Perfect. Easy as it is. Yoink. Oh, nope, that was just some more of that resource. And a lockpick. Huh. All of that for just some spooky resource that we still don't know how to use. The amount of... I'm gonna assume this is entropy, since they mentioned entropy as a concept in this game, near where a boss fight with a gate similar to this was. I'm gonna assume that's just all screwed up due to the entropic corruption of this world, which we still don't know the reasoning behind, but I have a suspicion that it's attached to the witches and not in the way we've been being told. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually going to end up being a case of the world is being damaged by the fact that we're removing things that have been there before, like destroying the witches and things like that. And I say all that because this is a bit that's been done before. So it wouldn't really be a shock if it's a bit replayed, basically. And this is all a massive simplification of my suspicion, but it's easier to explain it simplified than it would be to sit there and run through the whole logic process with nothing really to prove. There we go. We now have the capacity to unlock a second mastery tree, but I do have to burn the point to get in there right now, so we're not actually going to do that immediately. Like I mentioned, we're going to focus on grabbing Netherwalk. It's a real shame that we don't have one more talent point to grab it now, because I feel like in order for facing the witch, it might have been useful. Hey there, Cyan, how's it going? Oh, let's see what the witch has to offer us. Well, big old empty room at the moment. The witch is definitely to the left, so let's see if there's anything to the right. Yeah, so far so good. How about you? It's like there's nothing to stop us getting here, so let's see. Yeah, that definitely doesn't look friendly.
Did you bring it?
Yeah, fair enough.
A witch lantern. As you
The
request.
soul of your matriarch intact.
I did not. Can you still resurrect her?
What? You don't possess it? And yet, I feel it near.
Witch! You are coming with me.
We have the soul, don't we?
Lead an inquisitor to me, girl.
I.
Well,
Inquisitor, I will strip the muscle from your bone. And after that, I will stitch up your pieces and they shall serve me.
before we fight her, the most disconcerting thing about that entire sequence is after the slap happened, she was only speaking in my left ear, which was weird. And yes, being alive counts, Cyan. I don't know what that's gonna do, but I feel like hitting her in the spider butt is probably the better choice here. Of course you do poison. Everything around here's done poison so far. Why wouldn't you do too? Okay. Ow. Ah, that jump stuns you. Understood. I was gonna say that this fight was slower than I expected, and of course, just thinking that got me punished. That's not a surprise to anyone, I'm sure. Alright. Which of these was the buff? Okay, that raises my max mana and regenerates it. That raises max health and regenerates it. Okay. So I want to eat both of these before I go in there. I mean, this is slow heal, though. It's over 2 minutes. There's no point in popping that before we go in, then. That's what I was debating. Give ourselves whatever leg up we can get. It looks like we might only be able to have one food at a time, because I see only one of the 2 icons. Okay, that continues to deal damage even after the initial spray is gone, so I shouldn't just stand there and be cheeky about that. Yep, she does have a back kick. Understood. Keep an eye out for that in the future, then. Bandage up while we got an opening. Ack. Wow, that does a lot of damage. Go ahead and laser her while she's doing her magic. And we're dead again. Okay. She hits really hard, as expected. So I think the buffs aren't helping. I don't think they're amounting to anything in this sequence here. I think they're out of date, considering we picked these up like a full area ago. I'm just gonna get rid of these. It says A to unequip it. Oh, there we go. We just select the same slot again. Okay.
Hello there.
Hey, ABC. So I don't have any of the same thing to select again. So far, so good. How are things for you, ABC? Oh, so far, so good, other than getting bodied by this boss twice already, but, you know, that's to be expected. I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. Hopefully it passes reasonably quick. Unless you mean sick in the positive, which could be either or on that one. Oh, yeah. I know the feeling on that one. The misfortune of springtime. Oh, I don't have enough room to get out of that completely. That's not ideal. I'm not sure what question you're trying to ask, so if you can't figure out a good way to ask the question, might be better off not asking the question at all. Acid or something like that, as far as I'm aware. All I know for sure is it's poisonous and it hurts like a motherfucker. It's also not yellow, so I don't know what to tell you on that one either. Definitely more greenish. I know what you're fishing for with that. I just don't feel like giving you the satisfaction of saying what you want me to say on that one. Totally weren't. Yes, not at all. Not in the slightest. And there we go. Now we don't need to debate it anymore anyway because she's dead. I'm betting, yeah, it's not that easy with a necromancer. Hey there, Snork, how's it going? Ah, okay. We now have to fight the lower half a second time. Interesting. Oh, those crawl along the ground. And... okay, so that's a combo I gotta watch out for. Now, having technical problems, Snork? Okay, so we're out of low healing potions now, which is fine. They don't really heal that much. was using them just to not have to use all the reusable ones immediately. Or is it more a matter of you're just running into things that the PC can't run? Ah, okay. There is a lot of hefty stuff that's been already coming out, so it makes sense. Okay, time to do this whole sequence again. You know, with it being labeled a necromancer, I was expecting a lot more undead summoning. Yeah, Clair Obscure seems very interesting. It came out on Game Pass, so I'll be looking at it at some point, though I probably won't be streaming it. And I have definitely heard that the Oblivion remaster is a bit of a optimization disaster zone. So, not that that should be a shock to anybody. Considering the nature of it presumably running on the same engines they've been using. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because I haven't played it either, even though it's on Game Pass. Mostly because the Oblivion remaster's 120 gigs, and I can't be bothered to make space for a remaster that takes over 100 gigs. No, I'm not that interested. I have too many other things going on. So far so good. This fight's proving to be a bit of a nuisance, but I knew that going into it because it's our big main quest fight. And witches in this world are a pretty big deal. So, expected results all around. Okay, this phase doesn't have a ton of health. Just hits really hard. Okay. The lower half still has the acid spray to watch out for, which makes sense. Still can minion summon, which makes sense. They just attack together now, which is where the issues are going to come in from. Instead of her only having one attack. So, fascinating thing occurred there, and I don't know if anybody else caught it, but I got stopped in midair as I jumped over the ice before she made it to me. There was a little bit of a gap where I should have at least still moved forward, but I stopped preemptively, and then she impacted. So that's interesting. I should have seen that coming considering I fell for that once already, but I did not anticipate the timing lining up perfectly again, because it was in a different position. I think she'll always aim for where I am with the drop, and that's where I'm making the mistake. Thankfully, this first phase really isn't that big a deal other than the acid spray. And that's just because the acid spray covers so much ground. There are the orbs. I'm gonna walk into the hit a little bit, but that's okay. Not what I meant to do. I miscalculated the stamina. I do not really know much at all at this point. I used to know a little bit about them, because I had played one of them, though the name escapes me because that was like 5+ years ago at this point. Basically, the only information I would have on that topic are things you brought up before about it. And it's a safe bet to say that a mod that has been around longer and has been getting updated longer would generally, for the most part, hold up a bit better. Because it shows that the people working on it are actually figuring out what they're doing. That's, of course, just from me skimming what you just said there. I cannot read the entire thing with 100% accuracy because I'm kind of a little focused at the moment. Oh, come on now. There was nothing I could do about that acid spray in that position. Just, yeah, you know what? Just kill me. You are being disgusting with the positioning attacks this time. We'll just reset that and not think about that one. Of course you are, but I would rather be done with this sometime today. And yeah, things take development time. Shocking concept. Even if a mod maker doesn't get it right the first time, if they actually care enough, they can come back and fix it. Much like developers can actually fix their games after time. Though that often doesn't happen either. Yeah, 15 months is quite a while. I would think I would realize that she will always do the same sequence of attacks, but every now and then the positioning is just different enough that I forget a piece of the moveset. Oh, actually, no, that actually makes it make more sense, if you want me to be honest. Different hands taking over a project will also make much more radical changes than somebody who is set in what they've created ever will. Is right or wrong, if a mod maker makes changes, very frequently they won't revert them or change them no matter what anybody tells them. But as soon as somebody else is touching it, oh, I have no bias towards this concept, chucks out garbage facets of mod immediately. I've seen that dozens of times. Frequently to the better, but now and then it'll depend on how you felt about the changes made. Like, sometimes you'll actually get a worse result because that one particular facet was a good thing. Yeah, that checks out. We don't want video game to be fun. We aren't allowed fun, therefore no one can have fun. Fucked up that move real bad, trying to be clever. Okay. Slowly destroy you with my magic. His magic must defeat magic, though acid defeats magic very easily, apparently. Then again, acid defeats most everything, so this does not surprise me. Where are you landing? Right on my head. Okay, you can roll the landing, it just doesn't always work out. The timing is a little odd. With the acid. Well, that's why most things, not everything. Acid doesn't always defeat a base either, and yet here we are. Nope, we're just ending that before you finish that move. Now for phase 2, where I'm going to die again because I'm running out of resources. Thank you. Let's see if I can hold this up well enough for the second part. Yeah, that's the problem. Thankfully, phase 2 has a lot less health. But I only have so much to work with at this point, and that's where the issue is going to come in. I just need to power through this faster than it can kill me. Something I should test, actually, is whether I can hit the part of her that's up there. Like in a sequence like this, for example. Nope, that part's immune. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't drop down till all the minions are dead, so we just do that. There we go. That's how you control all that part of the fight a little better. Oh, I misread the signal. I thought that was gonna be a charge, not an acid spray. Just end it. Just end it. God damn it. I was hoping she'd die before she landed. It was a risk, but I thought I had enough power to make that work, but I think she had just a couple iframes. Snork, don't start with that. You may have been gone for a bit, but I can make you be gone longer. Not so fun now, is it? Uh-huh, totally. It's more a balanced bullying back and forth, really. Which is what makes it fine. This attempt is going much worse. The orbs? I don't think so. They passed through my beam before and weren't affected, so unless they are only affected when they're at the height of their attack, which that means I'm going to be wasting time aiming up, which is not ideal. So I would rather just commit to the attack. So genuinely, it remains that the acid is the biggest problem, because it's a huge zoning attack where I can't really get anything done. The orbs only kill me now and then, so I'm not really concerned about them. Let's go ahead and restore mana before I end up not having any. Nope, we should be fine to stand here. We'll take a little bit from that, but we'll end this phase here in a second. There we go. Like, at least I'm consistently getting through the first phase. And if I wandered off and made my magic just a touch stronger, we would be out of this already. Okay, different pattern that time. Combined the acid spray with the other thing. It's interesting, she's off pattern this time. Which is great for me. Oh, now they're doing these two attacks together, just, again, off timing. And got it. There we go. Just had to commit. Oh, nope, there's one more part. Oh, that had no health. Never mind. They did a fake out upon the fake out. And yeah, exactly. You poke and prod, and then every now and then I come out swinging.
One so ancient, so wise. Was there really a benefit to killing her?
Getting rid of the undead that were constantly infesting this area? That seems like a benefit. Other than that, though, I agree. She probably had uses.
I sought to resurrect someone important. The rituals are nearly forgotten. She claimed she could help me. I was so close. Still, something she said, something she felt, may be in you. I know there are many. I do think our purposes may intersect. Just a feeling at the moment, but one too strong to ignore. Do you know of the place they call the Witch Tree? Meet me there. I have something for you, for saving me. And perhaps next time we meet, we'll both be willing to reveal a bit more about ourselves.
Funny she mentions the witch tree, considering that's where we have everybody gathering already.
The witch was dead. All that was left was to let my superiors know I'd failed them. I spoke the words of contact into the ring on my left hand and waited.
Yeah, we were told not to kill the witch, but don't think we were bringing that one back alive.
I assume you have news of the witch's capture.
I'm gonna assume they can't see. Because if they could see, they would see the rather large corpse next to me, as I call them.
The witch is dead?
Yep.
Was I not clear? You were to bring her in alive. Wait. Is that its corpse?
Uh-huh.
That's
So you
no
can see.
witch, you fool. You killed a spirit weaver, a necromancer. Out of hiding, no doubt, because of a bargain made with a witch. No, I don't think you will be. Maddox, message Keska, and have her pick up the witch's trail in the swamps around Wickham.
It will be done.
And you are to be reassigned. A most urgent task, actually. There is a noble amassing an army within Brer Castle, a potential threat to Crimson City. You are to enter the fortress and kill Lord Oberon.
Lord Oberon? Sir?
Do you have something to say, Commander?
No, Your Grace.
This sounds like a setup.
Then I believe we are done here.
They will deny any mentioning of having
Before I
sent
made the
us.
long trek to Lockmule to introduce myself to the Lord of Brer, I decided it might be worth meeting the mysterious woman at the witch tree. Perhaps she knew a way to silence the voice inside my head. Or maybe our fates were intertwined. Though I doubt she would welcome that, given my current trajectory.
Yeah, no, the Priest King is hella evil looking. He definitely has... If he wasn't a king, I would have absolutely typecast him in evil vizier territory immediately. Ooh, we have a new chaos spell. Perfect. Yeah, no, they want those witches alive for reasons we can't entirely prove are good or bad, but the intro started with them torturing one of the witches they had captured. Which they do look real fucked up, so us believing that spider lady was a witch was understandable. Most likely. It also helps further their position to a certain degree. Is by torturing them, they can force them into proving they're evil with massive air quotes around it when they lash out as a result of that. Let's see, Where was the thing I wanted out of fire weaving? Because there was a specific thing I was looking for. Oh yeah, I think it was this up here. Yeah. Whenever you take fatal damage, it's on a 300-second cooldown, you explode and gain half your health back. That's the one I want. So we want to go either this way or this way to get there quickest, and it'll probably be this way. And now, if I want to, I can use fire spells. Which it might be fun to have a secondary set with fire or active in it. Though I still don't have a fire relic, so we can't actually commit to that idea yet. Because I didn't buy one. It is a little suspicious that we're being pulled off witch duty, which, you know, it's easy to claim that as a matter of, well, we failed because we took out something that wasn't even related to our task. But us being reassigned to the assassination of a noble isn't a good look.
I knew I'd see you again, one way or another.
We know what her business with the necromancer was. We were already told that. I am curious about the intersection.
Weaver told me before it died. Tell me, what do you know about witches?
Yeah, we did only see one before we killed her mid-torture to presumably just make that whole situation stop. We don't actually know what our character's reasoning was for that.
Ah, yes. The stories. The power to corrupt men, destroy worlds, and kill infants in their sleep. The witches once fought to save this world. This doom, entropy, the force that bleeds into ours as it consumes this reality. It is the fault of man. Hundreds of years ago, powerful mages learned how to subvert the natural laws of magic by manipulating entropy. The witches begged them to stop, went to war with them, and lost. The archmages then turned against themselves and tapped into entropy to control the world. Portals opened, its forces invaded, its corruption spread. The leader of the last coven, Mandragora, made one last desperate attempt to stop the archmages. She had devised a way to close entropy, but was overpowered and killed before she could complete her task. But her spirit lives on. In you, in fact.
We had picked up a weird, like, blue spirit effect from the witch we had slain, and we have had this voice whispering in our heads. Also, this is exactly what I predicted, more or less, right before we went to go see the witch. Shocking, that.
She speaks the truth.
Oh, hey, you have a name tag now.
I pledged my life to help bring her back into this world. We need her, or entropy will end us all. But with the necromancer dead, I need to find another way. I don't know how her spirit transferred to you, but I need you to keep her safe.
It's also not as much of a thing anymore anyway, there, Snork, because they actually made a patch to remove, quote-unquote, remove it. I don't know if I believe that they removed all of it, but they removed the EULA saying that they were doing it, and the patch did look on the up and up. Whether it actually did anything, who knows? Yeah, I'm more inclined to accept that because everyone's selling your data these days than I am to deal with things like loot boxes as well. I mean, keeping Mandragora safe means keeping ourselves from dying. So I'm kind of inclined to not die. And I don't want to tell the Priest King that we have a witch soul floating around in us, because he's just gonna kill us.
You hear her, don't you? It's not just my words, is it? I offer you this. A witch lantern. It will allow you to travel through entropy safely, to see the fate we will all suffer without Mandragora's return. If that doesn't persuade you, Nothing will.
Yeah, the demo of it was good when I had played it during Next Fest, and so far the game's been holding up. There's a couple odds and ends here that I don't entirely agree with balancing-wise, but again, that could easily be... There are going to be hitch points for every of the 6 classes, which seems to be held up by what people have been saying about it, where the class balance is a little wonky. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, unless a game needs those connections, you really shouldn't be letting them have that connection to begin with. It doesn't need it.
The Witch Lantern can guide you through entropy to other portals in this world. I only ask that you use it to help me find a way to resurrect Mandragora.
Well, we already know where one of those portals will be. Back where we started this adventure, when we took down the warg, there was a rip in the world there. I'm sure we can walk into that now.
I suppose I should trust you with that.
Uh-huh. You're the actual other witch.
My name is Branween, last born of the final coven. A witch.
Once again, I was on the right track. I'm not taking her back to the Crimson City. And we're not flirting with the witch, regardless of whose side we're on, so I will stick to what I basically was saying. I already had that figured out.
I had to trust you wouldn't strike me down before I finished. We must part, Inquisitor. It's up to us to restore Mandragora to this world. If you still doubt me, enter the portal and witness the true horror of entropy until our eyes meet again.
To be fair, whether I trust her or not, we're on the railroad. We don't have a choice but to trust this. That said, based on what I've seen of this world, I'm more inclined to believe Branween here than I am to believe the Priest King, who has kind of been fucking us over. Yeah, no, that is also absolutely a logical statement there, Snork. Which is why I'm not... Why I'm willing to believe it well enough, for lack of a better way of explaining it. Like, people find sneaky ways around these things all the time, but I don't think they would take that risk. 2% chance to deal an additional 300% as fire. That would work well with what we're doing. But the longer we channel, the harder it hits is just beneficial across the board. And we can get both. We can't buy both right now, but we can get both later. We can also... Now, our basic attack is the only thing we can't upgrade. Heavy attack can be upgraded to generate more adrenaline or reduce charge time. Okay, okay. That makes heavy attack way more viable if I can reduce the charge time. Because that's its only real weakness, is how long it takes to charge. Blazing Weapon has a lot of upgrades. Ooh, can be cast without a fire relic. Okay, okay, that... I wish I had looked at this sooner, because I could have actually had this without needing to swap into Fire Weaver. But I wanted the passives of Flame Weaver anyway, so that's fine. Now, informant is useful. Considering she's not attacking us, she's not strong enough to fight us right now, which means we can manipulate this situation. And at least for now. Now, whether I decide later to kill them and betray them and all of that, that depends on how good all this information proves out to be. As I said, I have no reason to trust my side. Probably? Probably. They can't exactly gather information for us very effectively without being able to travel. It would make going places rather difficult. Yeah, I'll just buff my basic spell for now. But these upgrades are expensive.
This power. Do you even know what it is?
I know what I was told. That's about all I know about it. What's that? We did get a cloth thing, so here you go. Take the diagram so you can make these things for me. Are these any good? They give knowledge on the gloves, so that's already helpful. Though we do have a lot of knowledge. I would have rather that have power. Just so I can raise my magic damage instead of just continuing to raise my MP. More or less, yeah. It's supposedly made of chaos, but... you know. You would think it'd be a little bit more wild if that were the case. Ah, you're just in your thing. I mean, an Arcanist ring wouldn't be bad to have. It is only 5% magic crit chance, but it could add up. It's certainly better than the other options we have right now. Otherwise known as the no options. So we'll go ahead and just slap that in there. Now we have a 5% chance for good things to happen. Yeah, all of these crafters level up individually, and you can buy upgrades for them to make them sell their stuff to you cheaper as well.
Something you need?
Which is useful. I still need to get Ulfar here to level 7 so we can get iron. Because we have the ore, we just can't make the bars until he gets a little better at his job. Problem is, the only way to move his experience in any real way at this point is to make things that I have no use for. Or wait till I find more diagrams, which is probably what I'm going to do at the moment, is just wait for more diagrams. I don't think I have anything for our enchanter. We still have alchemy recipes that I don't have an alchemist for. I kind of figured Branwen was going to be the alchemist, but apparently not. So they're still at large somewhere in the world. I do want to go find that last bone before we go too far. I think so, or at least the 5th one you've told me that I sold you. I would presume that'll be far enough out that that's the... well, Branwen is the witch. She has claimed to be the last witch, therefore there's really not any other witches to go looking for. Again, assuming that claim is accurate, which we have no reason to disbelieve, but also no reason to believe that claim at the moment. Yeah, we need to go over here. Oh, no, it's actually not where I thought it was. It's slightly off to the side of... yeah, because this is where I thought the portal was going to be, where the warg was. Because there was a weird tear there. I guess the portal's over here for some reason. But I'm going to go try to find that last bone to finish this side quest before we go chasing after that idea. So I don't know if that spell we get from it's any good, but I would be inclined to find out. To be fair, we don't know if the witches of this world work even remotely close to how our world assumes witches work. For all we know, they may actually be an actual species in this world. Which, what with that whole transformation and everything, there's some credence to that as a possibility. And this world clearly has a lot of odd things Well, it would only be confusing by our metric if you think about it. Because if they have no reason to think of a witch as anything other than a specific type of creature, then why would it be confusing? Sometimes you gotta look at things in context for them to line up. And of course, there's no guarantee my theorizing there is even remotely close either. But I can see the possibility. Why not? People love yelling, "Burn the witch." And it's a very easy way to get a lot of people to go along with the narrative that's being handed by the faction you're starting with if you refer to them as witches, because a lot of people have a bias against the idea of a witch to begin with. And it may very well be that they're only referred to as witches now. They may have had a completely different name in their heyday. And calling them witches also makes it easy for the surprise they're not actually what they were assumed to be turn around to be an option. Because, you know, everybody has a mental image of what a witch is. It's easier to subvert that expectation if people have something to attach to. So this didn't lead to anything useful. This entire side bit over here was completely extraneous and pointless. Joy. Unless there was something like a step to the left of where the elevator was, which is entirely possible. Well, yeah, you're also sticking to... Yeah, that is... I was gonna say, you're sticking a little too much to the definition of a witch in our reality. Which is kind of irrelevant to the concept of something in another reality. A name is just a name. While names, according to groups like that, have power, that's not relevant to that discussion. Where are these bones? Maybe they're actually past this point up here where I couldn't get to because I can't get that high. That would be entirely possible. That would be a bit of a dick move. But that would also make it perfectly in keeping with the behavior of this game so far. Because we've walked all the territory that the circle covers down here at this point. And the other two bones were down here. Yeah, no. You're missing the point of my statement. It is a profession in our world, but it doesn't have to be the same thing in a narrative that exists outside of the world we live in. Like, we can debate the terminology and everything backwards and forwards, but the point remains, a witch here doesn't have to be the same as a witch there. Witches have meant many things in many games. Yeah, exactly. Well, the easiest way to speak English is to give up on making English make sense. Because English as a language doesn't make sense. That is advice I've actually genuinely given to people before, and it has actually helped them. Because this language is bullshit, and it really just genuinely lives up to that labeling. I presume umbral mushrooms will be useful for something. I have not seen a use for them yet, but that doesn't mean they won't have one. Now, we were in danger when we were running around over here before, so maybe now that we're in less threat, we'll be able to spot something we didn't spot before. Doesn't mean I should stand in acid regardless. Yes, yes, you drained power. Now absorb too much so you explode. Yeah, we still can't open this door, and that's what I'm worried about, is that the bone might be behind this door. But I'm gonna take another check down below here, just to make sure. Because it may very well be that we're not meant to finish this side quest yet. There may be something we're missing.
Good.
Don't need another savage broadsword. I don't even use the one I have. But I guess I can sell it. I am happy to grab more iron, though, because I'm definitely going to need that later. Because there was the chest here, though. I think I walked past where the spider is before. Just in case. Aha! There's a hidden wall here. This is why you double-check these things. Hidden walls can be anywhere.
I'll take this.
Those, I think, are all the major ones. They've definitely stolen bits and pieces from a lot more than that. But those are the major ones.
Leg bones. Strange runes carved into them.
There we go. That's all 3 bones. And we got the warlock coat, which is just health and mana pool increasing just like the helmet. Okay, so I'm not going to be using that. 30 health is nothing to sneeze at, and the 30 mana is more useful, but I would rather have my stat line stronger rather than just have large pools to work off of. Especially since knowledge and things boost your pool of mana to begin with. Now, the skull was up there, yeah. The fastest way there would be just to warp up here and then run across. I could climb up, but I can just warp over. Be convenient enough. Now, I will say, anybody picking this game up, you will probably have a radically different experience to what I've been having, unless you specifically choose Spellbinder as well and choose very similar for everything. Because the starting classes are fairly different from each other, as I discussed in the first session. that's what I've chosen as a secondary, and it would have been my primary if I wasn't intrigued by the Chaos Beam. Is they've the Spellbinder and the Flame Weaver seem to follow very similar paths, but the Flame Weaver has a much safer start.
Please, seek my bones.
I got your
Yes.
bones.
Now hurry to that cauldron. They spoke of a ritual. Place my bones inside it and add a few drops of fresh blood in.
Not sure I trust this idea, but sure, why not?
Hurry to the cauldron.
Bossy ass skull. Shouldn't I add the skull to the cauldron too? Oh hey, you look an awful lot like the warlocks have been killing. Do I need to kill you too?
Yes! I'm whole once more. Oh, stranger, you've no idea how happy you've made me. Now I can take revenge on the members of my brotherhood for their treachery. But first, let me give you something I desired for so many years. A swift death.
Shock, horror, treachery. Die. He's just a slightly buffed up warlock. Does hit decently hard, I'll give him that. But all the regular warlocks have too, so that's not really a surprise.
No! After so many years of waiting, bone once more.
Maybe you shouldn't have betrayed the guy who did all the work to get you your body back. Or at least not till you know, prepared a bit more. Just a thought there, bud. Because I would have just let him go off and chase after his fellow warlocks. That would have actually been helpful to me. I would have been down for that. But no, he had to just lash out at the guy who brought him back to life. Idiot. Leave behind a shadowy echo for 15 seconds while active. You store 30% of your chaos damage dealt, releasing it as an explosion around you when the effect ends. Ooh. And I can use it to teleport as well. Well, we'll see how Splintering Shards is, but the echo might be useful. He really just didn't think any of that through. I'm betting he lost his mind while he was sitting there bored for eternity. And what little sense he had left him at that point. Okay, so that's how those work. Yeah, I think I'm keeping those. That seems useful. Just have some free magic artillery just hanging out. Of course it's a trap. Why wouldn't it be a trap? Yeah, I should have grabbed that a long time ago, because that's not even remotely worth it to me anymore. But it's another bit of the map cleaned up. I know this was a door we couldn't open before. So we have the corrupt portal and a vampire to go take out. Let's go kill the vampire. That sounds fun. I'm getting the distinct feeling that the ruins of West Wickham over here are optional. Because I assumed we were going here after we were done with the swamp area we just did. But since we're being sent somewhere else, I get the feeling that these are unnecessary. So the only way I'm going to end up dealing with this vampire is if I go do it now. And I'm also curious to see how this world handles vampires. Considering witches are already different, and anything else we've encountered has been a bit different. This may prove interesting. I would assume they're not your standard stake in the heart vampire, so... it'll be that. It looks like the lair might be back up here, not down here. Considering the circle begins right about here. You know what? That actually makes a degree of sense, having something to draw the blood of whoever's entering the vampire's lair. That checks. A lot more of it there, too. What's this door? Is this where the vampire's lair is? No, I don't think so. This appears to be somewhere completely different. May as well check this first, though. Grab this first. Don't want to leave money behind. I already waste enough of it.
Loot. Nice.
Haste potion that I also won't be able to use because I still don't have an alchemist on the team. I worry that I missed wherever the alchemist is. But we've searched these areas pretty thoroughly up to this point. Aside from specifically right here in this section of sewers. Maybe they're in here. Because we found somebody in most areas we'd been to otherwise. So it's entirely possible I missed an alchemist in here, for example. Nah, you can't kill people in this game. I tried. There were a couple NPCs I didn't appreciate, so I definitely took a swing at them and it didn't let me. So I can confirm I would not have accidentally killed them unless as there was a specific dialogue prompt that allows them to be harmed. Which I've yet to go out of my way to harm any of those. Though, well, no, I amend my statement. We did end up killing one specific NPC that upset me. But that's because he turned out to be the leader of the bandits. So he actually was a boss fight of his own right, so he ended up dying as I expected. Okay, so this didn't actually lead anywhere useful. I was double checking to make sure this was just regular ground level down here and there wasn't anything special going on. Oh, back down the hole. I should have tapped the checkpoint on the way, though. So let's go ahead and go back for that right quick, since these load screens don't take long. This way my potions are full. Oh, and we can grab another point as well, so perfect. Grab us some more endurance so we can keep on keeping on. The offensive, defensive, and utility nodes are also quite nice because they just keep letting you stack one of the stats that are attached to that node up to 3 times. So if there's a particular stat you're looking for, you might be able to just chase those. So far it seems while stats are impactful, they're not the be-all end-all. They don't make or break the game in their own right. Which is good. That's a big slime. Oh, that's got an elite health bar. I do wish I could use more than 2 abilities at a time without having to sit there and equip cycle. But, you know, you gotta keep it moving somehow.
Leave this here.
Mercenary set. Okay, and that is a blacksmith diagram. So I guess the vampire lair must be down here because it's not up here at all. So my entire logic thought of these thorns being there intentionally is not actually true. Which is a shame because it actually would have made sense. Exactly. They shouldn't be the entire thing. Like, they definitely help. When I changed around my gear to fit in a bunch more stat increases, I did get stronger, but not like, oh god, this entire game has been turned on its head strong. I will say it does, to a certain degree, feel like they expect you to have decent stats, though. You can't just fuck about and not have any. At least not with the skill set I have. But other skill sets may be less reliant on their stats as well. And here's one of the few major complaints I have with this game. This fucking thing just keeps coming back. No matter where I go, I keep finding more corrupted vermin boss fights, and I'm getting tired of doing the same fight over and over again. Especially since at this point, this fight is basically pointless. It just exists to die. Though Incinerate sounds fun. And I do appreciate that skills are not attached to levels. So you can't just level grind to the skills you want to get ahead in life. You actually have to go out and find them. Or buy them in some cases. There are skills to be purchased as well. Okay, just a flamethrower. I was kind of hoping it was more like a larger fireball, considering we know Firebolt exists, because that was a purchasable skill that I didn't grab yet. And it's also your starting skill as a Flame Weaver. Yeah. Which, I don't entirely agree with that way of going about it either, because it really does just encourage exactly what you're talking about there. Like, hey, let me just make myself unkillable, or practically unkillable, and then I can just fuck about and do whatever I want. Which makes all of that feel like there's no impact to it. For the type of world they're going for, it makes sense. It just didn't engage me at all. That must mean that the Vampire's Lair must be there, then? I can't go up from here. Which also means we might not actually be able to do the Vampire Lair right now, then, because we need a grappling hook and we don't have it yet. Because we can't actually go to the right over there because of that grapple point we saw. I wonder if we get the grapple in the entropy bit that we're going to be doing. Because, yeah. Very deep hole. Obvious grapple point. Thanks, game. Thanks for taking the input late there and then me getting bounced into that pit. That's fine. Yeah. Now, it makes sense that that's the metric you're talking about, but I also just remember most of it not mattering when I had played it, the bit I did play of a couple of those games, including the other things that those same people made.
It'll be useful.
But anything that amplifies the numbers just amplifies the situation that's already in. Yeah, if the Vampire Lair's inside that door, we can't get to it because we can't get up that ladder that's up there. If the Vampire Lair's over here, then I can't get to there because of the grappling hook. But then why did they give me the quest now? Like, logic denotes us having the quest implies that we can complete the quest. That doesn't guarantee that that's true, but it lends credence to the theory that it's true. Now, I will say, being a caster in this game has had one major trade-off in that I've not had to engage with the melee combat this game has nearly as much, and the melee combat did feel reasonably engaging when I played the demo because we were forced to be a vanguard in the demo because the other classes weren't enabled yet. So that is also something worth noting. goes down, right? Yeah. I don't think we can complete this building either right now, because we had looked at this before. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Might be a boss fight here. That's where the vampire is? That doesn't look like a vampire.
Man will fall. The matron wills it.
I don't know where you came from. Oh, you got weird, like, liquefy yourself to blood nonsense going on. Maybe this is what this world considers a vampire. There are a lot of variations on what a vampire can be that have already existed. Why not more? I don't know if they would double up on boss fights, because presumably the vampire itself would be a boss fight. Oh, it's left a clone behind. I see that. Okay, so the clone duplicates attacks. This coming from the guy who's getting dodged the whole time, other than his clone. Okay, I didn't see that ripple coming until too late, so you got me with that one. Okay, the clone's gone now, so we're fine. Oh, nope, clone's back. Correct. Anything can be a vampire as long as it's already living to begin with, has always been the rule I've assumed for that. Barring special circumstances in certain worlds, because special circumstances do exist in some realities. So I suppose technically it would have to have blood to be affected by a vampire. But that also depends on whether we're talking about a world where vampirism is blood transferred or not. This isn't always either. There's also situations of like spiritual vampirism and all kinds of weird nonsense like that. And I do believe that this game has some notable writer attached to it. I want to say people were saying it was somebody attached to Vampire the Masquerade, so that lends some credence to some more unique variations there potentially being a thing. But only to a certain amount, because, you know. Okay, phase 2. Grab my damage shield. And now you start spawning your stupid clone. Get out of the ground, damn you. We're just wasting each other's time here, bud. Come on. Out of the ground. Come on. But yeah, the fact that this thing has so much blood manipulation going on, assuming this red stuff is blood, because that would make the most sense. Wow, he caught me on that one. He punished me immediately for trying to heal. Yeah, I'm going back and forth on whether this is or isn't the vampire. I would have figured there would have been Nope, I think I found the vampire. I think he's just right here. Because this wasn't here before. Or maybe not. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't there before. And we've died more than that in a location, so it's not like, oh yeah, you died a lot here, so now we put a new monster there because of that. Unfortunately, I'd have to go back to camp to look at the bestiary, so I'm not turning around to do that right now. We'll figure that out after we're done dealing with this guy. Yeah, to finish my thought before that other thing interrupted me, I would have figured that there would have been a dialogue pertaining to the quest upon encountering this thing. That's the only thing that's really making me say this probably isn't the vampire, or that we're looking for. Then again, there's been a bunch of side quests that haven't really had any dialogue go on with them either, so really could go either way on that one. I have no idea what he's babbling about either. But if he does... Oh no, then again, he did say he's something we could understand before, so he's just choosing to not be understandable right now, or these are spells he's casting. Ow, the knife. Okay, clone's gone. Gonna be reforming here in a moment, I presume. Oh, nope, the timing was wrong, so I guess he doesn't get his clone back until he goes back under again. There we go. Now it's there. Well, he's got some magic going on with that knife. You can see that it's, like, dripping and glowing as it's flying. Got him. I just committed that time. If I had dodged, I'm pretty sure I would have sabotaged myself. Backlash and Sanguine Kiss. We did not get a prompt for the Vampire's Lair, though, so he was not the vampire. Also, they specifically said the Vampire's Lair was below the ruins. Oh, that's an assassination skill. Leap backwards and throw a hidden blade that deals chaos and dexterity damage. Impales the first enemy hit, and then you can pull it back to you. Neat. The assassination stuff does keep tempting me. Like, if I wasn't committed to getting the passive benefits of being a Flame Weaver, I might have actually gone Chaos Assassination. Just a random assassin dog thing, yeah. He was just here. Lead chance and weakness chance. These would have actually, again, been really good if I had gone the Assassination Chaos route, because it would have scaled with the two stats we would have perfectly with dexterity and power. Unfortunately, I can't back out of being a Flame Weaver at this point, and as far as I'm aware. But he did get us a key. And that key presumably will get us somewhere. I'm just not sure where that key goes right now. So I don't remember seeing a locked door, did I? So I think that the only closed door we ran into, I think, wasn't locked. I think it just didn't have an interaction. Let's quickly warp back to the witch tree to turn in that diagram before I forget about that, since we've run up all up and down here and didn't find the vampire yet.
You need something?
Oh, actually, I have 2 diagrams to give him. Perfect. It almost gets him to level 7. Oh yeah, the Bone Crusher, which actually isn't bad for us. Amnesia is better, is it scales more with power. But if I boost my spirit at all, Bone Crusher would be pretty useful with the smash chance and the armor penetration. Which, for those that don't know, I actually realized after the fact something about Smash, so I will show it right quick. We just page down to here. Smash is an effect that can trigger when damaging injured enemies with one-handed maces and great hammers. Triggering a smash effect instantly kills normal enemies. Elite and boss enemies take increased damage from the attack and are staggered instead. So, you can see a bunch of thresholds there. Basically, about half health for a normal enemy and lower than that for anything else. So blunt weapons more or less have a chance to instantly kill things that are under half health, which is a little silly. Swords and such have their own benefits, but we're not going into those right now because I don't have a good enough sword for me to care. Okay, so the mercenary stuff's all copper. I wonder if I was... Maybe you were supposed to go... No. No, that doesn't make sense. This is definitely built towards somebody who's using, like, Vanguard and such like that, though, with the adrenaline bonuses and the physical stats. So at the end of the day, none of these really helped us. I don't know why these are made out of copper, though, with the way they look. That's what's throwing me the most, I think. I could just buy a little bit of copper ore and get the card upgrade to make him cheaper. Yeah, you know what. He's been with me since the beginning. Let's help him out with his cart. Ooh. The next upgrade, it has a 40% chance to find extra ores. So these do different things. Okay. I was assuming these would just keep making their prices cheaper and cheaper, which is why I wasn't that enthused about it. But if they have different effects, especially like gathering effects like this, these might actually be more important than I thought. They also don't raise their experience at all, which makes me slightly sad. I don't think I can push him to level 7 efficiently. Like, I would have to make 2 bronze gauntlets, for example, which, they're not that expensive, fuck it. And I can just sell them after the fact. Now we have access to iron bars. Which I think we needed iron bars for something. Either that or I was just committed to the idea of getting better bars. Like, Justicar blades don't help us. Right. The scissor was something that needed iron, and I just took that as writing on the wall that other things were going to need iron soon. I think that's exactly where my brain went there. Also, can I just say that it's kind of wild that I'm pretty sure that... Yeah, in fact, that has the resonance ability, so it's a greatsword. This is a primarily dexterity greatsword. And it even has a dexterity requirement to use it. And I say that not because I disagree, because actually I quite heartily agree with the fact that you would need a certain amount of dexterity to use a greatsword sensibly. But it's the fact that it flies in the face of how they're designed in video games for the most part. That's what throws me there. I mean, these do give weakness chance. Weakness chance is part and parcel to a good chunk of how the Chaos Magic mechanic works. I just wish this had power instead of knowledge. I'm pretty sure I didn't get any new runes or anything for Reese, but let's go check on Reese anyway, in case I'm forgetting something. And I could just look through my inventory about it, but he's right over here. It's not like it's gonna take long.
What are you buying?
Okay, I did have a diagram for him. I'll be the first to say I have no idea what diagram that was anymore. Oh yeah, it was the Ember Veil. We did have that, yeah. Which I can make that. And it is better than the Shattered Flame Core, so we'll finally have a fire relic. So I could set up that other set to actually start using some of the fire abilities. Yeah, we only have regular magic runestones for weapons and nothing else. Everything else is just for chests and heads. You would think we would have found something for literally any other slot by now. But we haven't. You keep looking back at my Violet Blade and being sad that it just doesn't hold up as well damage-wise as the Amnesia does so far. And I think that's purely just because our power stat hasn't been getting pushed as much as it could have been. It's like our power is 15, which is pretty good. But our dexterity would also need to be coming up a little bit for that to end up being any good, I think. And it's been a lot more readily accessible so far for us to raise our strength. It's like we could have runestoned into things that raised our dexterity, I think. Actually, no, there's only dexterity and endurance. I wouldn't have been able to get the vigor. That's why that was a problem. His vigor, for those that don't know, raises your carrying capacity, which we needed in order to be able to equip more than just trash. Not to mention having more than just like 2 slots filled with anything. I just have this sneaking suspicion that this is where the alchemist is gonna end up. I don't know what tells me that, but I just have this feeling. I'm gonna go back to the sewers, actually, while I'm thinking about the alchemist in particular. 'Cause I'm getting more and more suspicious that they're, like, up here somewhere. But why didn't I go further past where the boss fight down here was? I know... Oh, I was just kind of done at that point. So this is where the fight that was upsetting me was. This is where the pepper fight was. Let's navigate this area more fully. It's also entirely possible we just aren't supposed to have the alchemist yet, but I'm suspicious. And a bit more coal and linen cloth and things like that never hurt to have. Let's see, I need to get above here. There's an item there. I remember seeing that when we were here before, but I wasn't able to reach that, and I'm still not able to reach that. Oh yeah, I should have turned the map fragment in while we were at camp. That's why we still have that face icon down there, is I forgot to give Gerald the map fragment. Yeah, that's as good an idea as any. Grapple point. Okay, can't go that way. Go. Oh yeah, we keep getting more anima cores as well. Yeah, I meant to look at the bestiary as well, so I should have went to see Gerald anyway. Not outside the realm of possibility. Grip of Garden. Okay. I'm glad I came back here anyway, considering we didn't have that before. Well, minus 20% weapon weight. Neat possibility. Not something I need at the second. Because we're already below our carry weight. There we go. A lot of things came up at the same time there, Snort. Which thing are you referring to with things you didn't see? I'm assuming you mean the jailbreak software. There we go. Get rid of that spider. Oh, yeah. I mean, theoretically, there's probably one that exists. I can't say I've ever encountered that either. Oh, there's more entropy down here. And it's an accessible area of entropy. Let's not go here before we go to the one we're supposed to go to first, though. I have no idea how dangerous that's going to be, and I'd rather not punch above my weight class too soon right now. But it is near another boss fight, so that's interesting. Near where another boss fight used to be, that is. Makes me wonder if my theory that it's going to be near a lot of the bosses was right, then.
Nice.
Verdant Flame Blade. Interesting. Interesting split of stats there. C's across the board. But it's actually pretty good for us. That is decent damage. I may have found my... Oh, right. I can't equip the relic, though. Wrong button. Yeah, so this is
In my hands.
kind of useless to me because of the fact that I don't have... Like, I can't use any of my magics with this. There's gonna be times where I might break this out anyway. But unfortunately, just due to the nature of it needing both hands, I can't use that in any good way at the moment. There we go. Put those there. And keep light attack on the second set as well. Oh, okay, you can flip the skill sets independently. That's interesting. So in order to use that correctly, I have to flip both. That's not the best, but that's fine. But I can, like, swap that, set the weapon on fire, and then swap back to my chaos magic. Like, just for example. So I might actually want Wall of Fire on my other skill set, then. Basically swap, set Wall of Fire, set weapon on fire, and then go back to my primary set. Basically just use it as a setup set. I said the word set a lot. The word may or may not have meaning anymore. Oh yeah, this treasure goblin had gotten away before. Damn it. They can be hard to stagger sometimes, they just don't care. But the fact that those respawn makes me less upset about them getting away. Because that means I can just come back for them later. And we can't get up there right now, because that's all grapple points up there. So, never mind. if the alchemist is down here, they're out of reach at the moment. So that is no longer a concern I need to worry about. Unless they're, like, in this one specific cubby to the left here. Except that's... yeah, that's just open air. That's what I thought. So that narrows that down. I don't think they'd be down here in the vault, because I believe we found Reese somewhere down here, or... no, because they were in the upper chambers. But either way, the monastery section had an NPC we picked up already. And I doubt they would have more than one in the same section. We didn't pick up anybody down here, but we have seen everywhere we can reach down here. There could be somebody in the mill house or over in the far right side of the Grabseep Swamp, though. That is a possibility. We'd encountered Branwen here, but we didn't pick up Branwen here. We technically picked her up down here in the catacombs. So yeah, let's check this odd bit to the swamp over here too, then. We'll just go in through the mill house, which we can't go further into unless we either jump higher or take the long way around back up through the catacombs, which I can't be bothered to do right now. But I am curious about that breakable floor bit in the swamp. Coming through. I got more important things to do than deal with y'all. You are in my way, so you die. I didn't jump, but that's fine. Anyway, having casually melted another band of bandits, our hero continues onward. No, grab the ore. Oh, it was tin. That's still useful.
Come to my bag.
Runestone of Ferocity. That could actually be useful. I don't know what that attaches to entirely. Another Mandragora? Mandrake, rather. Either one. I'm sure these Mandrake roots are totally not going to be important for anything at all or anything, no. Not in the slightest. Not when the witch we're working to resurrect is called Mandragora. No, why would those have anything in common at all? That needs higher jumping. Or we might actually pop back out there. If you see that spot to the right. We may actually be able to pop out of the entropy over there somewhere. Okay, so that amounted to a couple things, but nothing immediately relevant. Let's warp over here because Gerald is closer to this side. Then we'll read over the bestiary bits, figure out what that weird thing was we took down while we were still going after the Fang Hunter. And then work things out from there. And of course drop off the map fragments so we get a better map of West Wickham. Not to mention he might gain enough levels to have more stuff. Nope, he needs one more before he has more information. Ambush Arachnid we saw before. Dread Spinner we've seen. Oh, it's because we got new information for these. That's why they're showing up again. Oh, a Fang Assassin. No one wants to face assassins, especially trained killers with animal-like reflexes and a grudge. Should not be offended that no one's ever sent assassins after me. I feel like you haven't made it until someone wants you dead that bad. Okay, so they're associated with the Fang Executioner. Ah, Fang Executioner, werewolf assassin sent to snuff out the enemies of Matron Layla, which is just about anyone who isn't a lycanthrope themselves. The speed and strength of a wolf with the cunning of a trained killer. Okay, so they had like 45% chaos resist. That's why we were having a little bit of trouble there. 900 poise is about right for a boss enemy. Necromancer we have not read yet. Otherwise known as a spirit weaver, these spider-like beings are capable of spinning life into dead flesh and often use it to create abominations that serve their whims. Hunted by Inquisitors, very few remain, and they guard their hiding spots with zombies, caretakers, and other things you'd rather not encounter. Which, if they're hunted by Inquisitors, you would think we would have at least gotten some credit for killing it. But I guess since it wasn't what they wanted, they got upset about it. Plague Guardian, another one of these fleshy monstrosities. This one has some kind of plague enchantment built into it, so if you live long enough to get away from it, you may just succumb to some horrible affliction anyhow. Plague Scavenger, we just got more information on, same with that one, that one. Undead Warlock, we already had information on. And I guess we didn't get anything new from the dude we took down. The special Warlock, I guess, doesn't have a label. He's not cool enough to have a label of his own. Which makes sense, he just got bodied immediately. Yeah, this... Gerald's also where you buy your skills, so we'll go ahead and... no, I don't have a ton of money here right now. I was gonna say I'll go ahead and snag Firebolt, but I'm probably not actually gonna use it. So probably just leave that alone, I guess. We can sell him some of the junk we've picked up, though. Like the extra Gremlin Cutlasses. And the extra Savage Broadsword. I'm still keeping my collection. Yeah, we have an extra Bronze Gauntlet that I made. That can go ahead and just go away. I absolutely have no real reason to keep all that gear. It's just one of those things. These Cores of Entropy are worth, like, nothing. But I guess normal people can't use them, so why would normal people have any value for them? I'm gonna sell some of these flawed emeralds. I don't need that many. We really don't have anything else that's worth any real amount of money. Bounty board has... I don't know why that showed up now, but I'll clean that up later. Ditto with the Undead Warlock one. I won't do them during the session. Unless we go back there for one reason or another. I swear I checked the bounty board while we were in that area. But I guess maybe we just didn't touch the right part of the area.
That's good. Glad I can be of use to someone.
Yeah, the stuff's actually holding up pretty good, bud. You've actually kept me alive. Oh, we're out of coal again. Okay. Buy more coal. This way we can keep making the bars to keep moving Ulfar's level up. And there's no sense hanging on to the ore. Unless I'm planning on, like, getting a card upgrade for him. So technically the other ones get card upgrades through ore too, but not the ore we had. They still didn't get much more entropy material, so we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, because your card upgrade needs 5 copper ore. But I've not really been using your services that heavily. At the second. Like, I thought I'd be using her services more. And I did make the chest armor I'm using her inventory, but...
I'm all out of gems. Kidding.
Your idea of humor still confuses me. Then again, her idea of most things still confuses me. Actually, the weakening signet... The weakening stone ring might actually be a good idea. But I would need to go make another copper bar, and I can't be bothered. That was why I didn't make it before. I had to think about that for a second. We've got a new rune, so let's go talk to Reese about that. See if that does anything useful for us.
Been busy.
So what does this rune do? It was ferocity. 10% physical damage. This would have been great if I was going for a physical build, but since we're going magic, the the magic rune is better for us. 10% extra physical damage, though, is nothing to sneeze at. Especially if you have actually been pumping, like, your strength up with a actual decent strength scaling weapon. You probably would gain a lot of power that way. I mean, we may as well just go back to Hunter's Trail and go to left to get to the weird portal. It's interesting that it's right here at the... what was the beginning of the game. Well, the beginning of the demo, actually. This is technically the second part of the game. This does look like an actual proper portal, so I suppose it makes sense that this would be the enterable one, as opposed to the, like, harsh tear in the world. Ack.
What's happening?
Oh. Whee! I don't know if I like the fact that we're on a timer here.
Oh, no, it's...
You oh-knowing. Oh, okay.
I feel rejuvenated.
Okay, so it's kind of like the Dark World from Metroid Prime Echoes, then. There's gonna be spots where I can recharge while in the evil world. Essence. But I do like that this area has different mechanics, like I can actually, like, launch myself around. And there's not been enemies.
Way out.
See where this puts us. I have a feeling I know where based on where we moved, but let's see if it actually lines up in the real world. No. Well, it did, but it went further than I thought. I thought we were gonna get spat out over here since we were right here. We ended up way higher up than I thought. There's gonna be some real questions whenever people realize where we've ended up.
Have any regrets, huh? You lived this long. You got so many you could fill a lake with them. Except that lake's in your head. And you gotta keep swimming, or you'll drown in it. Now,
Ain't that the truth, old man?
I'm not trying to talk your ear off. I just want to share a regret with someone who might be able to help an old man not have so many.
What do you got?
A treasure map. Now, I always planned to follow it. But life kept getting in the way. But I'm running out of days. I gotta know what's buried there. And I'll give you the map if you promise to split the fortune with me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Here it is. See, just got to look for the landmarks and you'll find the treasure. But you got to come back and show me what's in it. Hurry on now.
He's putting a lot of trust in me to come back with that. I can just take the map and fuck off. Oh, hey, another Mandrake root. Yoink. Oh. Huh. Mandrake Horror. I had a feeling one of these was going to be a trap at some point. Especially with our ability to traverse the entropy, it just makes sense. Oh, I will say, visually, I wasn't sure what I was expecting. Wasn't this? Ow. For all that it's, like, hella intimidating, it's not actually that strong. There's our Mandrake root. And now we just leave. So that happened. And now we just have a hole in the world. Oh, no, there we go. It fixed itself. So now I gotta watch out for that every time I go to pick up a Mandrake. Okay. Oh, hey, the portal actually, like, looks like a location now. Neat. I don't know. I always find things like that kind of fascinating. Oh yeah, we also wanted Motes of Chaos, so let's go ahead and grab that before I push any further into Flame Weaver, because I almost forgot about that, and that's actually going to be a pretty potent benefit for us. Oh god. No biting.
I've never seen such a creature.
Yeah, we're in a completely different place now. This place ain't doing so good.
The village is quiet. It should be bustling right now.
But look at the light. Everything around here seems wrong, and you know, the fact that it seems to be infested with these, like, leathery death machines here probably doesn't help village commerce. Medium leather? We didn't have any of that yet. At least I don't think we did. Knock knock, anybody home? Home or not, I'm coming in. I was about to say the last time we were in a house that looked like this, it was haunted, and what do you know, it's haunted again. We gotta go deal with another ghost. Lockpick. Seems very similar to the last haunted house, but backwards. I was half expecting to just sink into, like, an endless abyss when I jumped in the water there. What? So did the water kill me after I was in it too long, or did the thing I touched kill me? I don't actually know why I died there. I walked over to look what looked like a ship's wheel, and I was gonna turn it, and then I just kind of died. That is a perfect example of the thing I was talking about before, though, where there's a couple odd designs in this game. That's one of them. No warning, no indication, just like, hey, you're dead now. Why? Eh. Oh, there we go. Nether walk finally worked. That was something I was wondering about, because it really didn't seem like it ever triggered during that boss fight. But I think we just kept getting knocked around the threshold for Nether walk. So it never actually worked before. Which is why the Phoenix ability is going to be a bit more effective when we do get to that. Does this water just kill me if I stand in this too long? Doesn't seem like it. I think the wheel was what killed me. It keeps making hurt noises. Oh wait, there's something in the water. See that ripple moving towards us? That's probably what killed us. There's something in the water. Oh, that's upsetting. Don't like that. No, sir, I don't like that. It's also tracking pretty well. It can't be killed, whatever it is. Yeah, and our spell there won't even target it, whatever it is. Let's lure it all the way over here, and then we might be able to get at that wheel. At least it's slow. Faster, please. It's coming. It's gonna get you. Oh, yeah, it's going faster now. It's upset. Oh, boy. Don't like that. And the ghostly whispers keep, like, talking about betrayal and such, too, it sounded like. Is the spooky thing still here? I don't see it. I think it wandered off. Oh, it was waiting for me right there. You know, game, at least having a checkpoint in the place where the instant death water ripple monster is would be nice. Just saying. Like, at first when it was just, like, slow and easy to deal with, it's like, okay, sure. Now that we have a section where it's way faster, not sure I like that. It's not to say I was a huge fan of the idea to begin with, but it was at least forgivable, I suppose is the correct wording. Now we're just kind of in an annoying loop while we're trying to deal with this area. Which this, I presume, is just a bonus thing to do this haunted house. Kind of like how the speed area was kind of annoying, but it was optional, so it's kind of fair. I wonder if I have to turn the wheel again. Oh, at least I put my stuff here. That's not too bad. Oh, it's just fast all the time now, I guess. Yeah, it's agitated, whatever that is. Which I feel like I should know what that is. I know of multiple creatures that would operate under similar circumstances, but none of their names are coming to mind right now. There's another pile of bodies. Why are there just, like, huge mounds of corpses in this house, though? Doesn't make sense. Why would there just be piles specifically in bedrooms? It's weird. If they succumb to disease, then they wouldn't necessarily be piled up specifically like that. So it's not a disease situation, presumably. Down. Storm magic. I wonder if the ripple monster will go away once the curse is gone. Wow, that hurt. Fire or bonus on the mace is definitely helping. Especially with the fact that our mana is not doing great right now. This is definitely a stronger Wraith than the last one we faced, but that's not a surprise considering it's in a later area. There we go. We Coalesced Essence, Arcane Core. We got a blue skill, Arbiter's Fury. It is interesting how you get a lot of your astral abilities, it seems, through these haunted houses. Charge up a massive long-range beam of light that pierces through enemies and deals 757 in spirit damage, which is based on time spent charging. Neat. Well, the muttering is still here. So it's quieter. Not volume quieter, but less of it. Let's see if we can go get that box in peace now. I don't see whatever it is that's attacking in the... There it is. It's still there. Yeah, you're gonna hear it speeding up behind me, probably. Yep, there it is. Neener, 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 I'm on land. Cleansing potion, huh? That was not worth it. That was not worth the pain and misery of coming back here. Neither was a skill that I can't use. Okay, went back to the left a little bit. Hop, 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 hop. Yeah, sprinting, you can outrun it, it seems. It's just a little bit weird that that's just a thing. And it's not entirely attached to the curse of this haunted house, either. Which implies to me that there may be other instances where we run into that creature. Whatever that was grabbing me and murdering me in the water. So that's upsetting. The music here definitely reminds me a bit of the cursed town from Afterimage that we went through. Though the music is also not super present. Lockmuir Village. Okay. What is the treasure map point? Out of curiosity. Oh, I can scroll the map faster if I use both sticks. Interesting. The treasure map doesn't appear to point anywhere on the map. So I probably need to actually use the map itself. Wherever that map is. There we go. Huh, so some kind of dream catcher, and then you make 4 jumps, and then there's the treasure. Great. Great. We're not figuring that out anytime quick, I don't think. You know, unless I just happen to find something that looks like that at some point.
From the other side.
Makes sense. I am curious enough to go back into the entropy area we were in. Okay, I was wondering if I would also be able to look at the map of the entropy zone that we were in, but it looks like we cannot currently do that. There was something else I was thinking about, and it is escaping me right now. Hey, I wanted to look around the map to see if there were any other spots that were marked with the portal symbol. Because we have a portal here. We have the portal we knew about. Maybe there is a portal over by where the ward was. And we know that there's a portal exit over here. We saw it. Well, it at the very least could be an exit. It might be an entrance, because it looked the same as the one we used over here. It's just not marked in any way because we didn't actually get to it. It's on the other side of a wall. We can go higher over here, though. So, onward and upward. Okay, they can jump. I was wondering about that. Like, logic denotes something that looks like that could jump pretty good. But it didn't show any inclination to jump at first. Okay, this is just back where we were. So I think we might actually be at a bit of a dead end here at the moment. Unless there's something else I missed. Because we can't use this elevator. We already went through the interior area that was here because that was the haunted house. Unless there's another interior that I didn't spot. I think our only route is to go down. Hello. Interesting. There's bats here. I can see one below. What are these things, though? That is the question. Like, that thing that I killed had some bat-like features a little bit. With the winglets on the arms and the upturned nose. Oh, I thought I dodged that. Turns out that's an arced shot. Understood. These things don't seem to have eyes. Like there's a layer of skin covering where the eyes would be. So that's a little weird.
Locked.
Yeah, I figured. More skeletons. I wonder what they're doing here. Aside from the fact that people died here, so there would be undead where people died. I slightly regret upgrading my beam to cost more mana because we just can't seem to hang on to mana now. So I do also have a second spell that I'm using a lot more. So that is probably a big part of the problem. We also haven't found our own cook. Now that I think about it. Because we've got a bunch of cookbook stuff for a cook, too. I would almost figure the innkeeper lady would become our cook. The one that had said she had a job for us and just didn't have a job at all. Well, anytime we checked. Which I suppose now that the whole Wickham thing has fully blown over, maybe we should check in on that again. Perhaps she has aspirations of going elsewhere, and we could hire her on at that point. Oh, this door opens. What's in here? Oh, hey, you're not dead.
We are not. Hunter. Oh, Hunter, I beg of you, please save my father. He was taken to the castle. Oh, blessings on you. You are the noblest soul I have ever met.
I make no promises, but I assume if there's a castle, I probably need to go there. Garlic and sage. Wait, Rare Castle. Isn't that where we were supposed to go? Find a way to reach Brer Island. So maybe the Priest King actually has a better reason for me to go wipe out the people here than I thought. Considering this place is infested with monsters and people are getting taken to the castle. Presumably to be turned into more monsters. Or eaten. Or both. There's a boat. Oh, I guess the boat isn't real. Okay. I kind of thought I could platform on that, but I guess, you know, fuck me. Don't get me wrong, it did look a little sketchy, but I figured I'd give it a shot. I'm just gonna run through here. Here so we can get our stuff back. And those were referred to as imps before, so I'm assuming those are just fire imps now. Even though I keep calling them bats. So they've got some kind of infestation issue here. Oh wow, we need to go all the way over there. Or for the family reunion bit. Okay. Well, let's pop over here to see what these creatures are right quick. So I'm curious now. Would like to know what I'm dealing with. The garlic and sage we picked up is interesting in its own way. And apparently they were building traps to fight off those creatures. So that implies that garlic and sage may actually be effective against them. What are you doing standing over here?
I have answers.
So let's see. Homunculi? What the hell is this? Look at it. Does anything about it say this is a natural thing? Somebody probably made it, and I hate them. Imps we've seen. Oh, I see what happened. Mandrake horror. These creatures seemingly exist within our world and entropy at the same time, having roots tapped into both realms. When plucked from the ground, they scream, and some say that sound alone can kill a normal person. They haven't screamed at us yet, but boy oh boy, would I rather that than see that thing ever again. Night Stalker. Aha! My going bat theory was correct. A vampire that can take the form of a giant bat. Most bats are tiny, so if you see one about the size of a grown man, safe to assume it is indeed a vampire. Okay, so there's a whole case of vampirism going on at the castle then. So, you know, that's good. Oh, fire imp. There we go. If you thought normal imps were annoying, this one will make you fond of its lesser brethren. Fucking fire imps. Yeah, those cleansing potions would have also stopped all of my acid problems with the witch fight, I think. Or necromancer fight now, but point being. Okay, so we've got a vampire ratio then. You know, it's interesting that we're fighting vampires over there, and there's also vampires in West Wickham. So I wonder if the issue up here in Brer happened first, and then the vampires from here attacked Wickham while they were weakened dealing with the other issue of the bandits and everything. Hard to say. Yeah, we need to be able to traverse the murky waters, which implies that... Wait. But if it... Why is the indicator up here? Oh. I'm really worrying that I, like, missed something somehow, somewhere. But I feel like I couldn't have. Unless... We never did open this door. But I assume it's connected to the West Wickham sewers over here. So it probably just opens from this side. Because, you know, why wouldn't the West Wickham and East Wickham sewers be connected? That just makes sense. It's still bugging me that we didn't find the vampire lair. Over here. I'm gonna come back over here and try to figure that out. It's bugging me. The more I think about it, the more it bothers me that we haven't found it. And I'm wondering if it's actually, like, somewhere on the surface and I just missed the prompt for it. By just assuming I needed to go into the sewers there. No, it can't be, because there's not enough ground up here for it to be there, and we've been to all this ground. Maybe it is attached to that second building I went into, then. The one over here. But then why didn't the quest progress when I got there? Because you would think... If it's meant to be about that, then the logic would have already made it make sense there. This is where the giant slime was, which wasn't relevant to our task at all. You know, I hate the fact that that's actually entirely possible there, Snork. Because it wouldn't be the first time it just didn't do a thing. That's why I'm kind of suspicious here. And these gremlin guys kind of have bat vibes to them a little bit to begin with. So they may be associated with the vampire. Let's just double check here, make sure there wasn't like a crate or something I was supposed to push that I didn't spot. Because this doesn't open still, even with the West Wickham key. There's just an item on the other side of the door there. It almost looks like we're meant to somehow, like, swing around and get up there. Well, the weapon they dropped was referred to as gremlin cutlasses. And I think they were called gremlins in the bestiary? But I have no real answers for you beyond that. It's like, I know I can't jump high enough to reach that, so that's not a thing. So I would almost figure you actually come down from somewhere to get there. Because we have been higher than there before. You don't think? No, that would be silly. Not impossible, but rather silly. Let's go find out if I am thinking correctly here. Because I thought that the area past where that boss fight was blocked off, but maybe it was only blocked off during the fight. And I may have turned around too soon. So, of course, real gremlin also who ends up being kind of in the same category as real witch to a certain degree. And yes, the Fang Executioner was here. Yeah, this wasn't actually blocked off completely. It was just blocked off for the fight. There we go. And there's just another mandrake up here. And then a hole that leads to where the other thing I was looking at was. So this doesn't have anything to do with the vampire. But this... Why is this ladder here? I guess in case you fuck up the drop to get to this item here. Because otherwise it'd be pointless. Oh, you can't actually grab that ledge. Oh, that's why, because it doesn't matter. Royal Scepter diagram. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to kill me. Because none of those ledges are grabbable for inexplicable reasons. Because you would see a glow on them if they're grabbable. And of course my stuff got put up there. Of course it did. This is going to be annoying. Completely and needlessly annoying. Oh. Fastest way to get back there will be going through here. Like, I don't know why those ledges aren't grabbable. Every other ledge, no matter what condition they've been in, has been grabbable. Those arbitrarily aren't. Okay, it's just that ledge there. That's fine. Oh, yeah. That's in almost any media involving vampires outside of the ones that don't do that much with them. They usually have, like, ghouls or some other low-end undead that they either create or deal with. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about when I said they had had the feel of bats about them, because they have the same kind of facial features that the large bat creatures we just were fighting had. There are also cases in some media of like half-turned existing where they didn't fully become a vampire, so they're just kind of in like this garbage bat-like form that just doesn't do anything well. Yeah, exactly. But that's the problem, though. They also suck at sucking because they can't suck blood like a real vampire would, so it just keeps getting worse for them, really, if you think about it. The skill issues just keep stacking up. Huh. The game is convinced that the vampire lair is here. But I have, at this point, found zero evidence that there's a vampire lair anywhere here, because we've been to every tile in this circle. Is the circle just placed poorly? You're gonna need to give me more than that on that one. I'm not sure what life force thing you're referring to off immediate here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that could be referring to. I'm gonna check over here where the slimes were again, just in case, because these vines bother me. Why would something unique like that just be there? Not to mention, why would there just arbitrarily be a... Alright. No, most likely not. No, there is nothing here. Okay. It's like everything in this game has always been within the circle the quest indicates. So it should have been somewhere within this radius. But that may only refer to the entrance of where the lair is. Which could then mean that it is actually down here, and it even might be all the way over here for all I fucking know. But it bugs me that there's these blood attack, these vines that make you bleed. Though, thinking about it, no, actually I know why those are there. I know exactly why those are there. A lot of the doorways used to be blocked by a dark reddish roots. That's what those are attached to. That's got nothing to do with the vampire. I remembered a thing now. This is the door we used to get up to where the fight was. So it's not here. Then again, we didn't walk past where that building was on the surface either, and I assume that's what I got the key to open. Let's double check down here. I think there was another door I couldn't open that was blocking our path down below here as well. But I don't think this was locked.
Blocked from this side.
Yeah. So I think I know what I need to do then. Having thought about it more, I think I know exactly what I need to do. And it's another case where it's slightly stupid, but it probably is going to line up here in a second. There we go, one more level and we'll get Mode of Chaos. If what I'm suspecting is true, we can open the gate going to the left here, which will allow us to go down back into the sewers past the point where we got stuck. And the vampire lair will actually be over there. This is the West Wickham gate key that we got, opens that door. The thing is, there's more of the werewolf associated things over here. But maybe in this world, vampires and werewolves do actually get along, because that does vary sometimes. I mean, you can move your perspective around a little bit just by default. I just tend not to bother because there's not that many, like, complete blind jumps or anything that I really need to worry that much about. Outside of incredibly rare instances, like what just happened with the other building. Bloomroot Woods. Okay, I don't think this is connected to what we're doing then at all. This is where one of our companions had gotten sent. Well, companions is a strong word because they all hated us. But one of the other Inquisitors got sent here. There's more of these roots here, which... No, I'm not going to look for an answer yet, Snork. It's also not important enough for me to care to seek that. I'm just gonna follow the path I have in front of me now. It just means that that quest gets left as a dead concept until I get the grappling hook, because that's probably the answer. This is the only other path left, other than it being connected to a side path down here. But if you want to know for your own benefit without telling me, it was called Relic Hunters. See, right there. Find the vampire's lair. I just don't want you giving me the answer. Because it soils the point of these things if we just look up the answer.
To my back.
I misidentified these plants as minor nibblewort, but it turns out they're giant bitewort.
I think I found the alchemist. I just have this sneaking suspicion, since they have a cart similar to all the people I brought to my caravan, that they may in fact be the alchemist we need.
Big, deadly, carnivorous plants. Help!
Working on it. You could try doing something about these too, you know. There we go.
I'm so stupid. Can't believe I made such a beginner's mistake. Some alchemist I am.
Ta-da, alchemist.
I don't know if I'd call myself one yet. I'm still learning. I can't believe I didn't notice the serrated edges of giant bitewort. Minor nibblewort has rounded edges. Ugh. How am I ever gonna make it if I can't even get that right?
Just don't go where those are? Yeah, you know what? That's accurate. I noticed it was a plant. That's all I understand about plant.
I guess it doesn't matter when you can just chop them down if they attack you. Here.
True.
For saving me. It's simple, but I'm pretty sure of this one. I should probably get going. If I don't make it to the next town, I won't even be able to afford food, much less reagents. Honestly, I wish I had a place to set up a store. If I wasn't so tired from constantly traveling, maybe I wouldn't have made that mistake.
I've got just the place for you.
Really? I'm still learning, and I can't promise anything I make will be as good as a master. But I'll do what I can.
You keep making potions, and that's all that matters to me. There we go. We have our alchemist that I can give the huge pile of diagrams and
Strange plant.
things to.
Is it even of this world?
Then I found a weird plant. I would show her the weird plant, but I feel like she's not gonna have any idea what it is either. Where even did it end up? There it is. And it is a special material, so maybe she will be able to understand it. Either way, this detour was worth it already because it got us our alchemist. This place doesn't seem exceptionally dangerous, so I'm now wondering... Am I getting ahead of myself? Or are you supposed to be here technically at the same time as the other part? There's a line there, I think... Wait, yeah, there's the dream catcher. This is where the treasure map leads. So if I just jump where the lines are, treasure. Oh, there's an invisible enemy here. Joke's on you. I can stand on invisible ground. Aha! Gerald's treasure.
Is another also trash.
Wait, Gerald's treasure. We know a Gerald. Mysteries upon mysteries. Problem is, we don't have a checkpoint in here, so I don't really want to go warping off to solve that mystery right now. Otherwise, I'll have to trek back through all of this again. Well, we could always just wait till I die to go back. So our resources are also getting a bit thin. Missed. That lends credence to my question, though. Since a side quest from the area we just went to led here, that means that these areas are probably meant to be either explored around the same time, or this may have been meant to be explored first, so you'd actually go, oh, I remember seeing that at Dreamcatcher. It was over here. One way or the other, I'm glad to have gotten that alchemist. Now I'll stop running out of mana potions all the time. And I won't have to keep buying them. It's a grabbable ledge, but that just leads to death. That's a grab this so you don't die ledge. But down here is actually a place. So I wonder if you would have actually survived the fall, like if you had enough health. Yeah, because this does lead back into the sewers like I anticipated. Question is, does this solve the mystery? Or does this just yet further prove that something's wrong? Oh, I've actually run out of lockpicks. That's nothing but a shame. Yeah, that just leads here. That doesn't actually open this door. But this gives me a close enough checkpoint. So let's go solve the mystery of the same name attached to this treasure as is on our treasure hunting friend, who we also know has a tendency to con people. So I think the old man got scammed by our buddy Gerald.
Found the treasure. Now let's see it. Is all that gold outside in the wagon? That's all. You wouldn't be lying, would you? Because the nice man that sold me that map, Geralt, I think his name was, he seemed an honest sort and promised me it was a great treasure.
You got scammed, old man.
Yes, that's it. He said he was so rich he didn't need it anymore. Gave it to me for a good price.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell it to him straight.
It's a fraud.
Sure is.
Thanks for trying. Sorry we're not rich. At least I didn't go to the grave wondering what was in it. And just like that, one less regret. Ha!
Just so long as it doesn't become a new regret of why did I fall for this scam. Oh, Gerald. Running around scamming old people, banging everybody's wives. And he wonders why he's not welcome in town. I doubt there's going to be a dialogue with Gerald about this, but I want to know. I want to check.
Let's see what we got.
Nope, we can talk to him about everybody else and why he's broke, but none of those are what I'm looking to talk about right now. I also was coming over here to him to buy lockpicks anyway. And while we're at it, let's go check in about our new alchemist, who is predictably right where I said she was going to be.
Oh, hey! Didn't waste any time getting set up. Even started a garden plot to farm some basic plants for my potions. I hope that's okay. If you need anything, I have a few potions available. I'm pretty good with the salts and oils. Also, coppers and quicksilver bases. And I stand by my vitriols. Of course, distilling certain minerals can be tricky, especially if one... That's just Faust. He won't bother anyone, don't worry.
Faust, a very auspicious name for a cat right there. Sure nothing bad's gonna happen with that one.
I should get back to brewing.
Well, first, here's a bunch of information. Just gonna break your brain with information right quick. Not as many levels as I expected out of 6 diagrams. Ooh, chaos oil, so our weapon does chaos damage, or burning oil. Astral oil, so you can just put, like, oil of any kind, it seems. We've also got the wild oil up here. Movement speed potions are tempting. I wasn't sure if the haste was going to be attack speed or move speed. Either one would have been good. That's not bad either. Oh, it needs sage to make mana potions? Well, I guess I'm still going to be SOL on mana potions. Other than buying them from her. Which the minor mana potions are only 15 more mana than the other ones. Then again, I can just buy the sage from her and it's cheaper than buying the potions. But then again, the added price of the craft as well. But this does help her gain levels, so it's important regardless. I'll go ahead and make these as well, so she gets to level 4. Now, I did find a weird thing.
Use this to make a more potent healing potion for your flask.
Oh! Perfect. That plant buffs how strong our healing flask is. Excellent. Keeps you awake for 20 seconds. I don't like the fact that that's infinite. I don't like that. Something about that seems bad. If there's an infinite supply of don't fall asleep juice, I have concerns. I have very strong concerns. Something about that seems dangerous. Something about that just screams, I'm going to have a problem that's going to put me to sleep and kill me. Don't like that. No, sir, I don't like that. Flask potency upgraded. Because we weren't getting fully healed by our flask anymore, so that's actually fantastic. And And if we find another gilded flask, we can upgrade how many flasks we can use. Well, yeah, the concern is not about the insomnia potion. It's the implications of the fact that an insomnia potion has to exist in an infinite supply. That's what has me concerned. Is that theoretically, like I said, means something may apply that to us at some point. And that could be a big, big problem. I mean, that too, yeah. I don't think anybody does. Or at the very least, I'd be surprised if anybody does. While I'm thinking about it, I'm running around bookkeeping and thinking. Let's talk to the innkeeper again. See if she actually has that other job that she claimed to have for us.
Inquisitor.
Nope, still doesn't have the other job. So that must be like a really far down the line concept then. Because she'd said when we came through her the first time that when we come back through to check in with her and she was going to have something she needed us to do. And yet that doesn't seem to be triggering. But then again, maybe that's broken. Most of them seem to be based on area. Because I triggered the existence of that vampire quest, as a perfect example, by accessing West Wickham.
Yes.
Now, that said, technically, that still could have been an either-or scenario there, because I gained access to West Wickham by doing something else. And by the time I checked that gate, a lot of things had already happened. But the timing of getting said vampire side quest also makes me wonder about that whole scenario anyway. Is if accessing it was tied to just having Gerald and opening the West Wickham gate, for example, that would imply a certain set of skills being available to you. Which is to say, not very many. Let's go open this chest that we bought the lockpick for. And then I'm going to see about accessing that gate that's to the left of where we're standing. So far, exploring in this game has been rewarding, and I'm willing to just keep poking my nose into any place I can get a hold of.
I'll take this.
Oh, okay, a diagram for another shield. That one is less rewarding than I would like it to have been, but it is at least a thing, and I can level Ulfar up more with it. Well, even then, a Tar shield is usually a smaller shield. So it really depends on whether you'd want a light shield, specifically. Huh. So I guess we'd have to go, like, way around to go back into there. I'm thinking less and less that that gate is relevant to what we're trying to accomplish. Oh, hi! I accidentally a boss fight again. Considering the way his health's going down, though, I think we aren't actually somewhere we're not supposed to be. And I'm not saying that because of how easily he's dying, I'm saying because of how much health he has. You would figure something like this would have a lot of health if it was meant to be after where we are now. So that kind of puts some theory towards the fact that we are in a matched area at the moment.
Nice.
There's the map fragment. That's death. We also can't go any further this way, because I'm pretty sure if I jump to the left, even from here, I'm not making that. I mean, the checkpoint's not that far, and I don't have to fight the forest giant again. Let's find out. Yep, not making that, and there's definitely nothing down there. I was 99% sure that I wasn't making that, but there really wasn't much in the way of the return trip, so I just didn't care. Like, there's these tentacles, but they're not really an issue in the slightest. Ditto with the slime, which... That's another thing that's telling me that this area may have been intended to be in the same vein as, like, the catacombs we went through. There doesn't appear to be a hook here, so I think it's a different ability we need to get across that. Because even if we look up, there's nothing up there. There's just nothing. So we might, like, get an air dash or some kind of double jump or something. Or hell, we might just get better jumping at some point. Like, we just have an extended jump. All of those are possible. Or you're not meant to access it that way and you're meant to go around. Understandable. You have a good night, Snork. Oh. So that's what these guys do. They barrier other enemies. Don't like that. Gives me plenty of reason to want to just obliterate them immediately. Huh. He was having a grand old time there. Today we learned if we knock down one of those werewolf guys on a spike plant, they just start rubber banding around. Oh wait, grab the thingy. Hemp twine. Huh. Not what I would have expected. I was kind of expecting to just, like, drop random herbs. Why does this exist? I also hear a twinkling noise. It's louder when I'm up there. There might be, like, a hidden treasure there or something. Every time we walk long enough in one of these open sections, I get worried. And here's another spot I can't jump high enough for, which, again, gives credence to my thought about getting either a double jump, a higher jump, or some other thing like that. Because we've encountered numerous locations like that where we can't quite jump high enough to get there. And we have the similar problem over here. So that's got a hook point on it, so that actually is going to be the grapple when we get it. I guess we need the grapple to get... I think I'm just not meant to have walked over here yet. But that doesn't make sense either. If you're meant to, for example, just to lay it out for example's sake, if we were meant to have done everything over here before going over here at all, the Fang Executioner fight wouldn't be that hard. The Forest Giant fight would have been a joke, because it already wasn't that difficult. But we can't go anywhere else here. We've encountered only places we either can't jump high enough to get to or need a grapple hook to get to. And if we think it through based on what we know about this area, it makes the most sense for this to be after we do what we're doing over with the castle. This over here is where one of our other Inquisitors already are. I do not have a public Discord, Lissa. Also, interesting first-time chat to be pinging for somebody's Discord. Either way, you're destined to disappointment on that one. And you may or may not have even heard that response, considering the ads were running. Look at this guy just jumping all around. But either way, welcome in at least for the moment. We'll see what ends up coming from there. But you know, depending on the reasoning, I will apologize for the suspicion, but it is an odd first choice. Oh, I guess we're going back over here because we've basically... get rid of those. I hit the wrong button. And we basically seem to have covered all the ground we can over where we were. And considering we're looking for an ability for a way to traverse an area, I would presume that we'll be either getting some kind of jump improvement or the grapple over here. Maybe we'll get vampiric wings or something. That'd be fun. Probably get us in trouble with the whole Inquisition we work for, but we're already kind of in trouble with them to begin with. Because of the whole witch soul being in us thing that they haven't figured out yet, but probably will inconveniently figure out at some point. Actually, give me a quick second to do a thing here. Okay. Just quickly checking on a message I saw. Making sure there wasn't an issue and all that. And now I'm going to burn to death. Not quite. Everything's fine. Drop down here and we'll be off to the races here in a moment. Hack my face. Do not chew my face. I need that. Magic comes out of there. Interesting that fire imp decided to fire from off screen. I did set him off, I knew that, but I figured since he was too far to the side he wouldn't act any further. Foolish, foolish me. Gotta go. Just not even gonna deal with these anymore. We already dealt with all of this once already. What, you already too? Huh. I'm gonna have to deal with him though, I think, because we appear to be at an impasse down here. And in order to check this properly, he needs to not be here. Ditto with this guy. Now the problem is we don't have any like bounce off enemies abilities, so it's not that. That's out of reach of our jump, so we can't go that way. There's a skeleton archer up there. There's a whole path of ledges, though, so maybe we're meant to grab hold of that ledge above me and make our way that way. Because it looks like there is a path that leads there. Yeah, we jump from the ladder to where we're intended to be. Mystery solved. At least one mystery solved. Did I have that little health left and I didn't pay attention, or did they do that much damage? I probably just wasn't paying attention, right? Right. Unless that just has a chance to kill, which would be rude, but in keeping with the rest of this game to a certain degree, for sure. Case in point, that guy who's just conveniently is hovering at face height, waiting for you to be trying to run through there. I'm starting to understand why the bestiary note is you're going to come to learn that those are worse than the regular imps. That said, the regular imps really were never that bad.
Locked.
Of course it's locked. Why wouldn't it be? Most sensible people would have their doors locked in a situation like this. Regular imps. So I suppose blasting them with magic is probably why the regular imps never were that big a problem. And that takes care of him. I don't need to worry about him if he's off the ledge. Rats? That makes sense with vampires about. Depending on who you ask, vampires can command rats or even become them in some situations. Ow, my butt. Okay, so we're making progress again. We're getting places. I absolutely didn't have to blast that imp, but I wanted to check the path over there, and I... Okay, so these are just a thing, huh? Okay. At least they show you where they are with their glowing eyes. They drop arcane cores, so I presume they're not a naturally occurring being of any kind. You again? Really? How many times do we have to do this dance? I have killed this particular giant rat so many times, and yet here we are doing it again. So he's got a lot more friends this time, goddamn. I guess that's one way to make a fight more difficult. Just spam 1,000 minions. He is tougher, he's got more health, but it really isn't gonna matter. Don't get me wrong, not a fun or exciting way to do this fight. But this fight's also not that exciting to begin with.
Okay. And slimy too. Creature probably ate it along with its owner.
Well, Chaos Storm seems fun. Conjure a chaotic storm that moves forward and periodically strikes up to 3 nearby enemies. That seems very similar to my Splintering Sparks. But the storm does do more damage. So let's give it a try. And I, of course, could add more for chaos moves to my list here, but I have a set of fire moves in my other set of slots at the moment. It'll be a great test subject. Or I'll get hit mid-cast and it won't put it. Okay, so it is just a tornado that just moves forward. And now I don't have enough MP to cast it again. Wow! I feel like that did more damage than those guys usually did. That's why I didn't pay him any mind. Having over 100 health, I figured I'd live through that. Turns out not so much. Testing is proving rather negative with this spell so far. At least we know where to go now, and I already went the wrong way. And yes, I'm assuming that I'm not meant to have, like, sprint jumped to that ledge that we couldn't reach horizontally, by the way. Because that seemed like quite the reach even for a sprint jump. Yeah, no, the Splintering Sparks seems better because it's got more reach to it. Fuck's sake. Like, the tornado probably has potential against a larger target like a boss, but against your regular enemies, it doesn't seem very good at all. Because they just don't stay where it's going, so it doesn't much matter. Oh, there's just wood in the corner here. Okay. But I think coming back down here might have actually been completely pointless. Is the gate key we got probably opens the, you know, the gate up here, probably.
Can't open it from here.
No? Huh. And what does the key open? Inner gate. So I guess I need to find an outer gate key, perhaps? We also still need to find a cook. But we might find a cook in the castle. That would make a degree of sense. But I didn't see any gates down here. If we look at Family Reunion, that's way over there. Noble's Death is above us. So maybe we're supposed to like, get over this gate.
It opens from the other side.
Yeah, it does say opens from the other side. Unless maybe there's something I missed over where we went a moment ago. Which is always possible. I wouldn't guarantee anything. Also, hopefully y'all can't hear the
Contraption does not move.
Crazy amount of lawn mowing that's been happening. They've been going at it on and off for the past, like, hour now. It's loud in my ears, but I don't think it's picked up on the mic at all. I say, now that curiosity is taking hold and making me look. No, it's not picking up at all. At least not on its own. So that's a good sign. At least the noise gating is working well enough. Let's get ourselves some more abilities. And finally get Motes of Chaos. I do wonder what actions in question trigger the chaotic motes, because it doesn't say what actions, it just says certain actions. Let's hop back over here to Flame Weaver and start working towards... Yeah, actually, Controlled Explosion would be a good one to grab on the way, too. Because we're aiming to head up here to Phoenix, so we can come back to life once every 300 seconds. Because, you know, that seems useful. Not dying is usually beneficial. Hang on. Uh-huh. Okay. Ow, the burning. One of these days I'll remember that that imp is there before the fireball hits me. Today is not that day. But we did get a chaos mote, so I guess just Maybe killing was the action in particular on that one? The moats are also a lot smaller than I thought they would be. And it just immediately went and hit him. Didn't do a lot either, so... Also, we killed that enemy and didn't get a moat back, so... That's interesting. Still figuring out how that works then. That one died and we got a moat. So maybe there's just a chance? And for those wondering, yes, I am going back to where I just teleported away from because I'm now wondering if I missed something here. Shot me in the hand. I did miss something. There's a ledge above this guy. Ow. Please. Aha! If you can't go through a gate or over a gate, you go under the gate. Ow, 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 burning, out burning, out burning, burning. And there we go, we opened the gate. Aha! Goodbye. Okay, but now we're closer to where the family reunion is, but not by much. So I have to assume that the Noble's Death quest happens first, then. Or at least the stage of that quest we're at right now. And if anybody hasn't been here and is wondering why I'm ignoring the skeleton bowman, skeletons get up after you kill them once, so I technically would have to kill him twice to get any benefit out of killing him. Other than just avoiding getting shot. Which, most of the time I can just do that by just not getting shot. Okay, wasn't sure I was gonna land that.
Into my bag.
Ah, the map. Excellent. We do need those. We definitely can't reach up there as far as I can tell. You're a big guy. Oh no, it was a little guy. He was behind me. Oh, there's the big guy. My instinct was correct, just a little off timing. There we go. Is this where the inner gate key goes? It is. Wait. No, this is a different door. Okay. I thought for a second that this was the... another door back to where we'd come from. Which it is back in the direction we came from, just not in the part we were at before. So it is still leading somewhere new. There's goo on it. Nope. I thought maybe the boards were weakened by the goo that was on it, so maybe I'd be able to break them and go through. You know, always checking for hidden doors. Always checking for hidden doors. My knees. Why is that ledge there? Like, I know why that ledge with the purple things on it. Why is this ledge here? Probably for coming back down from the other one. Since you wouldn't make it to the ladder. Gremlin over there. No, that's not a grabbable ledge. Oh, because the whole side is grabbable. Those still throw me now and then because they're not the most visibly clear. What's in the box? Health potions, some fat, and some sulfur. Okay. Don't know why I missed the first ledge, but we're fine. Oh, we're almost to Brer Island, it looks like. Which is interesting because you would figure we were there already. Some rats. Alright. Oh, that's a pushable block. Okay. Then again, it would have to be, because how would we get back out of the hole? And trust me when I say you don't want to be stuck in a rat hole. It's not good for anybody involved. Question becomes, where are we meant to actually be going? I would have to assume past this gremlin here. Oh, got it. I'm gremlin. Way to go, you blew up your friend. I don't know what he thought he was accomplishing there, but it was funny. And, like, if he was aiming just to be funny, he accomplished that. He did a great job of being entertaining. Okay, that gets us to a new area, which is probably where we need to be going. But first, there's loot. There's always more loot. Carrots and cabbages. Is this breakable? No. So that purple thing must be reachable, like, off of said higher jumping I was talking about before that I presume exists. And that's how we get this ore. Oh, wow, this goes all the way down here, huh? All right. Good to know, good to know. Phone, please. Okay, just don't show me that notification. I don't need to know, I guess. There's a fire imp up there. That was a bad idea. It's funny that these trapdoors don't seem to work on them. Can't just, like, drop an enemy with one.
I'll take this.
Invoker set. That sounds like something I'm interested in. Oh, that's how we get back here. Well, this was infinitely less exciting than I had hoped. Also, now I have to go all the way back around. Upsetting. I feel like I swindled myself again. Probably because I did. Thankfully, that's what this ladder is actually for, I guess, is for getting back after you check that at path. Wait. We're at an impasse again, then. Because this didn't actually lead anywhere new. Nope, that's not breakable. What about this one? Nope. Okay. Very suspicious. Maybe there's something else over here and I just didn't... Oh, wait. Aha! This is why you double-check these things. Don't mind me stealing the loot out from behind you.
Useful. Shiny baubles.
Thank you for more gremlin cutlasses. So I was right that there was a room in here, just wrong about how we got there. What are you? Not entirely sure what you are or where you came from, but I'm gonna put you back wherever you came from. Oh god, you teleport. No. Bad. Everything about that encounter was concerning. So this is the elevator we looked at all the way back at the beginning of the area that we couldn't access, but we can now because I've activated it.
Metal hook on the ceiling. I'm gonna need a grappling hook to get through it.
Where do we get a grappling hook? Oh, this doesn't go all the way down. Never mind. Oh, why are there so many elevators? Okay, that is attached to that one. I wasn't sure if it was gonna, like, make another one up here. I should have known based on the fact there was nothing connecting it. But you never know. You gotta make sure. And at this point, it's tradition for me to send an elevator away from myself before I use it. I could have grabbed that ledge on the way down. That's how I get up to that higher section there. Help! Oh, there's nothing here, though. Welp. I did hit jump, for those wondering. It just didn't take because I was in too much of a hurry, I think. So I ended up missing my timing. And I'm pretty sure we were already up on those ledges before, so this entire endeavor was pointless. Oh no, that is the ledges I can't reach. So that is worth doing. These guys do a lot of damage still. The bleeding also doesn't help. This just in. Bleeding does not help your survival rate. More at 11. The height you get when you jump off of those elevators is actually kind of wild. It makes sense, but it's still kind of wild. Wait. I had a split decision and that almost ended in us losing all of the essence we had there. Another grapple point. I died to find out that I can't go this way. Well, doesn't that just match the way this has been going, huh? Where would we get a grappling hook? Like, it implies that there's still something in this vicinity that we haven't interacted with. I'm gonna hop back for a second, though, to drop off the diagrams we got and see if any of them are useful to us, because I do feel like we've fallen behind a little bit.
Something I can assist with?
Like, the enemies are stronger than our gear is accounting for. I don't know that, but I'm just getting that sneaking suspicion. Let's see, Veilwalker is poison chance and stamina regen, so that's for assassins. Invoker is spirit and knowledge, and power and knowledge. I do want the gloves. The gloves seem like they'd be good for me. I lose my one remaining dexterity point, but I'm not using that anyway. But she needs to be level 7, which she's almost at before I can use that. Ooh, Cloak of Movement Speed. Hello. Put that in a bag. That is mine now. And now she's level 7, so we can get the Invoker gloves. What about the rest of the Invoker stuff? Oh yeah, the Inscribed Tiara as well. That just needs copper bars. Invoker coat. It's actually pretty good. I'm surprised. I expected that to be a stat line that I wouldn't have a use for, but that's actually not bad, and better armor than the Briar Robe. Oh, it is a little heavy, but we can get around that just fine. It would be a shame to lose the strength and vigor, but we can put a new rune in this for that. I would just need to make some wool. Which I think she can make wool? Ooh. A cloak that just gives essence gain. That's also very tempting. Huh. The Invoker breeches do literally the same thing as the bronze leggings, just much lighter. And for half the armor. Nah, that's fine. We'll stick to what we have. Apparently, she can't make wool cloth. But we can buy wool cloth from her. Okay, good enough. So I guess she makes it, she just doesn't make it. If that makes sense. Which it probably doesn't, but shh, it's okay. Don't worry about it that much. We can also start making... Oh, we can make medium leather out of the light leather, so we may as well just gain her a free level making a ton of medium leather, because that's what we're going to be using at this point. There we go. Just an instant level for her. So now we can make the Invoker coat. And then I'll just need to go make a rune to improve that. 5 Constitution should be quite nice for us. It is going to be a shame to lose the 2 Power and 2 Spirit, but I think that this is a good idea, just purely on the basis of getting more armor. Because we are just taking so much damage from everything that touches us at this point. Which tells me my armor value is no longer valid. The gloves and such we don't need to worry about changing anything for because we don't have runes for them. Being able to move a little faster may actually make a massive difference for us. Oh, actually, yeah, that feels much better. I feel less sluggish already, which is fantastic news. Because if there was ever one thing that seemed a bit off with this game, it's your movement felt sluggish. Just your natural movement. Oh, I'm out of money. I literally have 0 gold. Well, not 0, but 12 gold may as well be 0 in this world. Royal Scepter's a great hammer. I was hoping it was a one-handed mace, but it isn't. You can almost make steel bars. The Targe... It's actually not a bad shield. And it's actually a shield we can use, because it doesn't require a certain amount of equip load or anything like most of the other shields did. So technically that's actually not that bad a thing to have gotten. I probably still won't use it, but that is an option. And the main reason I wouldn't use it is because I would lose my ability to use my magic. And without my magic, we're kind of not much of anything. Just to be absolutely bluntly honest, we suck without our magic. As was demonstrated with the numerous times I ran out of mana potions and got bodied. If we can get ourselves some more money back, we should be able to do a few things. Just a matter of what I can sell. Continuing to keep the collection on me is really hampering my finances, and I know this. Actually, can I sort by... There we go, I can sort by price. Oh, apparently we got a Fang Priestess vest at some point. Health per second out of combat. Neat. Otherwise kind of useless to us, but neat. We could sell the extra runes.